The toxicology reports are in, but questions remain about the deaths of wrestler Chris Benwa and his family. Did roid rage, as it's called, drive him to kill his wife, his son, and then himself? Dell Wilkes is a former pro wrestler who used steroids from 1983 to the year 2000 and insists they are a huge problem in professional wrestling. He joins us now from Columbia, South Carolina. Dell, you know the results of this toxicology report. What do you make of it?
Well, I don't think there were really any major surprises other than the fact that with Daniel, the little boy, they found Xanax in his system. But as far as Chris is concerned, there were no major surprises there. Painkillers, pain medication, and steroids. As a matter of fact, over 10 times the level that a normal man would have in his system were found in his body. So I don't think there's any surprises there at all.
But the coroner suggests that the testosterone was injected shortly before the murders and his death took place, and that he did not show any evidence of steroid use in the past.
Well, you know, that's ridiculous. It really is. It's crazy. I was listening to another show last night, and some of the folks representing the WWE, their lawyer McDevitt, Mr. Black, that runs the wellness program and administers the drug test, seemed to be somewhat relieved that only testosterone was found in his system. As someone that used and abused steroids for over 20 years, testosterone was the major drug that I used. It was the one that most of us used. It is probably the most widely used and abused steroid there is on the market.
In fact, one of those representatives for the WWE appeared on Nancy Grace on Headline News last night. Let's take a quick listen to what he had to say, then I'll get you to respond.
All the speculation about the impact of steroids on this case were essentially removed from the case by Dr. Sperry. Testosterone that was found in Chris's body could have been taken and probably was taken after the April 10th test, which, as we know, anybody can do.
So there again, you hear that the steroids were not involved. The WWE claims that it has rigorous procedures for testing for steroids and that Chris Benwa never tested positive for steroids. Therefore, it wasn't an issue. What do you say?
Again, I say that's totally and utterly ridiculous. It's absurd to think that they can pass that off. I mean, they must think we're a bunch of idiots. I can look at Chris Benwa and other guys on that program. I don't need a toxicology report. I don't need a drug test. I don't need anything other than to watch the show and see that guys are still using and abusing steroids. On top of that, let's just look at the records of the doctor there in Atlanta. When his office was raided, it was proven, or at least to this point, that he was subscribing or prescribing huge amounts of steroids to Benwa. So. Again, that's ridiculous.
How big a problem are steroids in the world of professional wrestling, Chris, and what percentage of wrestlers do you believe use them?
Well, I'm no longer in those dressing rooms, but still, from someone that was there, spent my career in that business, it's a problem. It's a big problem. Again, just look at the show. Just watch the show. You see these huge, bulked up, leaned up bodies. I mean, that's proof enough that these guys are on something, some type of muscle-enhancing drug. It is a problem. I could sit down right now and write out the names of over 50 men and women that I wrestled with, traveled with, worked out with, had them in my home. I went into their homes, got familiar with their families. I can give you the names of over 50 of them I considered friends that are dead as a result of this business, the lifestyle, and the drugs, steroids, prescription medication that go along with it. So for them to insinuate that it's not a problem, for them to stand back and act like they have no culpability in this, it's absolutely ridiculous. But remember one thing, this is the same company, it's the same promoter that when Owen Hart tragically fell to his death from the rafters in Kansas City, doing a stunt he didn't want to do, but when they insisted he do, this is the same promoter that they had his lifeless body drugged from the ring, and the guys going to the ring for the next match had to pass his lifeless body. He didn't even have enough decency about him that night to stop a match. Right. So you don't expect him to, you know, step up to the plate and do anything right now.
Well, Dell, we thank you very much for your opinions this morning, and it's good to see you again. Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate you having me.